What's your opinion on hydrofacial?
It's really scratchy. It really breaks down the surface. I had a demonstration on the treatment about 10 years ago or whatever it was and I just said,
How have you built that kind of inner circle premium clientele?
I think trust is a big part of it. That's a difficult thing to know, that they can trust us and we're not going to say.
Where do you feel you learned that level of attentive customer service?
I think I'm old school trained. I've been in the industry for 27 years and it was actually standard back then.
You got a few rooms, right? They're all inspired off a specific design.
Yeah.
Right, run us through the rooms in your clinic.
I just don't really like anything normal. I could just really like everything to be a bit different. And in fact, I was advised, because I always have these quirky, cool ideas. As you know, we've got that grass on the wall. We've got like plants everywhere and like living rooms and stuff like that, like really fun, funky stuff. And actually a very senior guy in a distribution company said to me one time, Rachel, no one's to take you seriously when you've got roses all over your wall. And I was just like, because that's not us. That's not personality. Our industry is kind of known for gossip. They know they're not going to be able to come to us and ask for gossip because it's never going to happen.
So today we have a very special guest in the office. She is a client. She is a aesthetics skin leader within London, Richmond specifically. Her name is Rachel Huskinson and she owns Skin Lounge Richmond at Richmond Hill. How are you, Rachel?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on. You have such a unique clinic. I thought it would be great to have a conversation with you. You've how long have you ran Skin Lounge Richmond for now?
So 14 years, literally this month, in March this year. So 14 whole years.
14 years is a long time.
It's a long time. And I find it interesting because I know exactly how old it is because it's the age of my youngest son. Because I was very, 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 very heavily pregnant the day we opened. And I literally gave birth to him. And 2 weeks later, I was back in clinic, so working. So I know exactly the age because I know where I was in that journey.
Wow. I mean, that 14-year-old is going to probably look 14 for the rest of his life.
This is very true.
With the treatments you offer.
Do you know what? Actually, having teenagers, I have to say, my teenagers have really benefited from, even though teenagers don't want to listen to their mum, they sort of still listen with regards to when it comes to like problem skin.
Yeah. Because
I see problem skin steps ahead. So what happens is, first of all, like young ones, they start to get these like little bumps and lumps. And I'm like, okay, I see you. I see what's going on here. And then if that then gets introduced with bacteria, that's when you get acne. So I can see the precursor to acne happening. My kids are lucky. They don't know they are, clearly. They don't know they're lucky, but I can see when I'm like, something looks a bit infectious there. Let's get that dealt with. And so I've managed to prevent, because I had acne as a teenager. My husband had acne as a teenager. My children are quite olive and quite oily. So they're more prone to have problem skin. And so they're quite lucky that they've got me to be able to advise them.
They are lucky. Yeah, for sure.
Medication, which is always my number one rule for teenagers.
So I'm guessing that's some fresh-skinned teenagers.
I do actually. Yeah, I do. Which is, like I said, for the ages that they are and the fact that they've got kind of olive, oily skin.
Yeah.
Is really rare.
Skin Lounge Richmond, 14 years. If you look at London as a whole, it's definitely declining as a city in a lot of ways. But I feel like there's just a couple of pockets in London that have almost like a dome around them, which just stay great. And Richmond, in my opinion, is definitely one of those locations. So run me through how it is running a skin clinic in Richmond.
So just to go back, I couldn't agree more. It is a privilege. It's a privilege to live there. I genuinely, because I live there and work there, the business is there and I live there as well. I genuinely think it is a gift to live there. The high street sadly has declined relatively dramatically now.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Richmond?
It's a really, really, really sad state of affairs. We're getting shops closing left, right and centre because the rates are so horrific, which we could go into in a whole separate podcast, because I don't think people really understand what's going on. In the last 5 years, rates have increased by 500% for most businesses locally.
Business rates specifically?
500% is dramatic.
It's loads.
And so businesses that were thriving, you're changing rates from £100 a month, £150 a month, all rate free, to them being £2,000 a month, as well as increasing minimum wage, national insurance. So businesses are really, really, really struggling. Richmond High Street is a sad state of affairs in comparison to what it used to be. Sort of like shop wise, But where we're located up on sort of in the village, we're sort of a bit immune. It's a really lovely, lovely place because it's full of independence. Every single one of us is an independent shop. Our locals really look after, they want to come and shop with us because we're part of their local community. So our bit is thriving up there, but sadly the high street is a bit sad. But the beauty of Richmond, I was just walking through Richmond Park the other day in the sunshine and I was like, we are so lucky to have this down the riverside, on Richmond Green. You know, it's just such a beautiful area. So I think you're right. I think Richmond as a whole is a bit immune because it's just so naturally beautiful, to be honest.
It's so beautiful. I love Richmond. It's such an amazing place. Like even walking from the station up to your clinic when we visited you a couple of weeks ago, you know the houses going up the hill?
Yeah.
You know, like that Victorian style, big windows, high ceilings. Yeah. It's beautiful. It really is.
And they're so uniform, you know, and they're really well cared for.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, it's a beautiful place. There's no doubt about it. And, you know, we were discussing before the pod about travel, and I'm obsessed with traveling, and yet I'm never sad to come home.
Yeah.
You know, I'm never sad to like roll up to Richmond Hill because it is just such a beautiful place to be, really.
I love that. That's so sad though about the high street. If you're not from Richmond, I don't think you would ever know. Have you seen that in real time, like shops closed from the high street?
I've worked locally for 25 years. So in 25-year period, of course, you see a lot of change.
Yeah.
But I mean, the high street itself, honestly, because Richmond's now become quite Insta famous because it's like secret Richmond. There's really cute cobbled roads with little independent shops and stuff. They're all still there. But when you come out of the train station and you turn left, and it's going to sound really rude, but you've got like chicken shops.
Yeah.
And
phone shops,
vape shops, candy shops, American candy shops. It just, honestly, it really just doesn't feel like it fits into the sort of general demographic that live there. So what I would say as a local resident is that we don't really shop in the high street anymore. We would go into maybe into Westfield or something there's no shops to go to. There's lots of coffee shops and things, but not a lot of actual shopping shops.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. That's a really interesting perspective. Is that the same for like people you know in Richmond too? They just don't shop in the high street?
No one on the hill.
Yeah.
Apart from Waitrose.
Of course.
Apart from Waitrose. Because we used to have Whole Foods. And Whole Foods was amazing.
I remember it. Yeah.
And Whole Foods, again, similar to everything else, they reduced their number of stores, and I think they only kept 2 in London.
Yeah.
And sadly, our one went. And so the main sort of draw for the residents from the hill, go down the hill, was Whole Foods and Waitrose.
That was like a market kind of thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, because you had loads of fresh produce, and so sadly that's not there. So it's just really Waitrose. That's in the town, and no one goes for anything else. And Gales, obviously.
Of course. Let's talk about the clientele. So spending a bit of time in your clinic, I've seen the type of clientele you have come into your clinic, just like really interesting people from all different walks of life, right? Like you've got a couple of famous opera singers and news presenters. How have you built that kind of inner circle premium clientele?
I think trust is a big part of it. Number one was recommendation, really. I've got a lot of people in the sort of TV and film world. So not just famous people that you would see on actual shows, but people behind the scenes, lots of producers, directors, writers, casting directors, people that make these things happen. I've got lots and makeup artists and that kind of thing. We've got loads of clients like that. And then, obviously we've got people in front of the camera as well. And I think that's a difficult thing to know that they can trust us, and we're not going to say, for example, a really, really, really famous actress, A-list actress that doesn't actually live in the UK, was in the UK filming, and we did all of her treatments for a massive blockbuster movie, and of course we never mentioned it. We never told anybody about it unless they saw her happen to come in. So I think we all know that we're discreet, and we're not, and also not even just in the sort of TV and film world, but also in business. Richmond's got quite a lot of business, like CEOs of major companies or heads of kind of major organizations that don't want to be whispered about, because that's already what kind of towns do. They whisper about their kind of celebrity or well-known people that live in the town. And I think having the recommendation to come, knowing we're discreet, I think was a big part of it as well. And knowing they're going to get cared for and looked after by an expert. I think they can have the best, so they want the best. And so I think that was also a big part of it. The knowledge and kind of expertise and discretion were kind of all in one.
I think a lot of clinic owners have the aspiration of being a premium clinic, treating premium clients. How did you build it from the early stages? So, for example, your client base now is very affluent. They tend to stay, but also to find these clients is, I can imagine, quite difficult. Was there like a moment where you started to kind of get those inner circle referrals, or was it something that just cultivated over time?
Yeah, I think, like I said, sort of happening to just one inside circle person happened to, I don't have a magic formula for it. But I think, like I said, when you've got an inner circle person that trusts you, and that sees results, and that they want to shout about what you offer, they want to shout about what you do, and they know you're going to be discreet and you're not going to be gossiping about, because of course it's sort of, our industry is kind of known for gossip. They know they're not going to be able to come to us and ask for gossip, because it's never going to happen, because it's super important that our clients can be themselves. I saw a really interesting post on Insta earlier, which was how much more to clients, therapists, practitioners, hairdressers are than what we seem. People can really be themselves with us. We're not part of their kind of outside life. So they can really let go and be open and share with you happiness, grief, hard times, great times. And so I think once someone knows they've got that connection with you, I think that also really helps to keep them, and then they refer their friends as well.
Yeah, 100%. Your clinic's special with how you've decorated it, and like even down to the interior. But tell me about how you found the inspiration to do what you've done, and just for the viewers listening, like explain the interior design to your clinic, because it really is special.
I just don't really like anything normal. I could just really like everything to be a bit different. And so I was just like, that wallpaper with leopards, gold leopards on green leopard print wallpaper, which sounds disgusting, is actually super cool. Like, why do I need to be a white clinic with white plastic cold room that kind of is not very inviting? Why? What's the technical reason? There is none. It's just that sort of, I guess from a marketing perspective, people take places like that very seriously because it looks like a doctor's practice. Mm. So I think people have always thought, and in fact, I was advised, because I always have these quirky, cool ideas. Like we've had, as you know, we've got like grass on the wall, and we've got like plants everywhere, and like living rooms and stuff like that, like really fun, funky stuff. And actually a very senior guy in a distribution company said to me one time, Rachel, no one's gonna take you seriously when you've got, roses all over your wall. No one's gonna take you seriously, and strip it all back, make everything white, make everything the same as everybody else. And I was just like, nah. Because that's not us, that's not personality. And you've been there, so like personality is a big part of.
It's massive, yeah.
Massive.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be the same as everybody else. I'm not interested.
No, I think that's why I as you know, I mean, I always kind of explain to you that I haven't seen anyone who's done what you've done with the space. You have a bar. Mm. You literally have a gin bar in the clinic. Yeah. I've never seen that before. Yeah. Tell us about what inspired the gin bar. So anyone who knows me knows I love a drink. Like it's a big part of my life. Like I'm a very social human being like that. I don't really drink on my own. Like I'm not really a in-home drinker. I'm like a social drinker. And so traditionally we, like back in the day, we started out with beauty services as well. So we did all beauty treatments and everything. And so we used to do manis and pedis and stuff like that. But obviously in my training is skin. So we wanted to focus more on skin. And so we had this like space that was used for something else, then was empty. I was just like, I would want that to be a bar. And I thought, well, it's my place. Let's do it. And it's a real talking point. As I said to you when I saw you at the clinic, unfortunately, we can't obviously give alcohol to our clients before their appointment. We're not selling anything, obviously. It's all complimentary for our wonderful clients. But it's not really, it's more for after their treatment. So we've had several occasions where at the end of the day, when everyone's finished, our last appointments are finishing up, the girls are all finishing with their day, and our wonderful clients that we love, because they're all our best friends, will have a little cheeky rosé at the end of the day, or a gin and tonic, or we've got everything. Literally got champagne, we've got, Prosecco, we've got whiskey and ginger if you want that, because I love alcohol. We can make cocktails. Like we've literally got a
whole situation, as well as obviously tea and coffee.
What would you say Richmond's drink of choice is from that bar?
I mean, Aperol Spritz.
It's a good
Aperol
one, that.
Spritz in the summer. I mean, that's a popular one. Gin and tonic classic, rosé.
Yeah.
Rosé classic. A dry sauv, Sauvignon. A dry sauv. Then in the winter, a nice red,
Yeah.
a bit of a Primitivo or something. So,
I love that. You when I was at your clinic a couple of weeks ago, you had a VIP in. It was getting towards the end of the day, and it was so funny. We finished up filming the content. The client came out of the treatment room. It must have been about 5:30, and I just see you go to the fridge. You're like, wine, Sally. She's like, oh, this is why I love you.
I didn't even need to guess. I know her drink of choice.
Yeah.
And it had to be done. She loves it.
What I love about what you've built is you're so attentive with what your clients love, even down to the music that they listen to. Tell us about that.
So we ask on their consultation, because music is so unique, and obviously each room has got its own. We've got 6 different treatment rooms, all with their own personality, right? So we kind of like, do you have like different personality music to each room? Like, because that would be quite cool. But then we thought, do you know how much of an earworm music is if you hate it? Like, because I'm such a music person, I love music. The idea of someone playing Enya, you won't even know what that is because you're too young, in my ear, or like whale music, is actually just offensive to me. So the idea that they can pick their own, like I just want Ibiza chill out, if I'm honest. Like, but then for some people that may be not what they're looking for. So they can choose. One of our clients has got her own playlist, Naomi. She's got her own playlist, and she loves Motel. And so we've got her own with a little bit of kind of current soul thrown in. So she's got her own playlist for when she comes in. She's our VIP.
Yeah.
She gets what she wants.
I love that. Because I think that client coming in when I was there?
I think so, yeah.
Because I heard you say, what was the name again?
Naomi.
You're like, Naomi's coming in, get the Motown ready. I was like, what? That's cool.
Get that changed. She hates Ibiza chill out. Get it changed. So, yeah.
I think there's a lot to learn from even the conversation we've had up until this point for clinic owners that may be listening on how to really like create the VIP experience, because everybody wants premium clients. But I think to attract them, you need to do what your average clinic doesn't. Do you know what I mean?
You have to go above and beyond. There's no such thing as 100% for me. It's not in my repertoire to even offer 100%.
Yeah.
If it's not 150%, I'm not interested. And my team know that. And I've had my team for a very long time. They've worked with me forever. And they all feel exactly the same. I mean, if I told you, one of my clients messaged me at midnight one time. Her son-in-law was staying and he had a temperature and she knew I'd have the thermometer. She said, Rachel, is there any way I could pop round, grab a thermometer? My personal number, because she knows I'm going to say, of course. I'm home, yeah, no problem, pop in. But she knew she could actually do that, So that our clients, we go above and beyond in every single aspect. And that's super important because why are you here? If you're not here to serve your client, why are you here? It's not about you. It's about them. And they should walk out feeling 100 and like the best version of themselves every single time. And that's super, super important to me. It's like the most important thing.
Where do you feel you learned that level of attentive customer service? Because most businesses never do it.
I think I'm old school trained. I've been in the industry for 27 years and it was actually standard back then. That was kind of how it was done. And especially in the sort of beauty, sort of spa side of things, back in the original sort of training, it was non-negotiable. Your client always came first. And so I think it's more of a modern phenomenon, to be honest, to not have your customer being your number one priority. So for me, it's just innate now. I've been doing my job since I was working doing coffee since I was at school with Dean. It was like on Saturday girl cleaning up and whatever. And it was just the way it was. My boss from then drilled it into me and it's never left since.
Yeah, I love that. No, it definitely shows. So I just want the viewers who listen to this to understand like the level you've gone to with the rooms of the clinic. So you have run us, because you've got a few rooms, right? They're all inspired off a specific design.
Yeah.
Right, run us through the rooms in your clinic.
So leopard is the one with the green leopard print with the gold leopards. Honestly, it sounds so awful, but it isn't. It's super, super chic. It's beautiful. And then I color matched the paint in the room, like all of the ceilings in every single room has got it's like they're all a metallic shade of something. So like in that room, it's like a really muted gold ceiling. Because I was like, what are clients laying down? They're actually looking up, not looking out. So I was like, okay, well, I don't want a white ceiling. I want a gold ceiling. So, so each of the rooms have even got their own ceiling color, which was completely matched exactly to the type of wallpaper or whatever that we had. Again, same with the towels. I didn't want just white towels or just grey towels. So each room has got its own towel color because that matched the room and the vibe of the room. And so yeah, and even like the trinkets and things, I see them everywhere I go, and I'll be abroad somewhere and I'll buy something to bring back to put in one of the rooms, or I do everything, not everything nowadays, but traditionally I've done everything myself as well. So I hung the radiators because, back in the day when I didn't have any money, I was like, well, I'm going to work it out with YouTube. And so changing light fittings, things like that. I did all of that myself, painting, decorating.
It's pretty impressive.
Creating, spray painting things.
I mean, it looks professionally done.
It's more professionally done now than it was back in the day. It was still good. Don't get me wrong. I got pictures of the old stuff and it was still really, really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I design it all myself now. But there's, I have had a painter and decorator come in recently and sort of done the new version. But I'm constantly wanting to change it.
Yeah.
Like I see a new wallpaper, I'm like, inspired, new room.
So you have the leopard room,
Gatsby, which is like inspired like on the Great Gatsby. So it's kind of like navy blue and gold and luxe and velvety and kind of tactile. And then we've got Safari, which is like a safari room. So it's got like it all sounds a bit mental, but it is, isn't it? It's elegant and chic.
It's beautiful.
It's not crazy as it sounds, but yeah, Safari is kind of, it's got safari animals and different flowers in different rooms depending on the theme that they are. Rose has got rose wallpaper and a rose gold ceiling and kind of light boxes and mirrored tiles and kind of cool vibes. And then Peacock has this like elaborate peacock wallpaper with massive tails with gold on. So it's, and then like I said, Rose Walk where you walk down the stairs. That's grass on a wall, but then with roses.
Goddess as well, right?
Goddess, which is, that's that. So that in there we've got kind of like, goddess vibes. So we've got this real, each room's got its own. Yeah,
when I was at your clinic, I had to go into the room for a call and my client was like, where are you? I was like, I'm in the goddess room. He was like, what?
That comes from Goddess. Why not? But these rooms, by the way, have changed. This is the third room change we've had. In our history for every single room, and then some of them have been changed more than that.
Do you? I feel like it's great. I mean, do you feel like are you happy with how it is now?
Yeah, but I'm always vibing. Like I always want a new vibe. Yeah. So if I see something that inspires me, I'm like, cool, let's do a new one.
I love that.
So yeah, always ready. I love change, which I know is really unusual. People like to say the same. I'm the exact opposite. I love new things. Yeah. I love change.
I guess a lot of what you do is change with your clients. Like you want to change how they feel, change how they look. So let's elaborate on that slightly. What would you say are the biggest problems that your clinic solves? Because you're more than just a skin clinic.
If I'm being really honest, I think what we solve is 50% of what we do. I think the other 50% is us. I think people actually love hanging out with us. Like no joke, I've had some of my clients for 20 years. So they're like my actual friends. I know more about them than most people do. So I do think there's a huge part of what we do that is it's just being there for people, being someone that they can talk to that's kind of secure and friendly. But then sort of the problems that we solve sort of, I think I said to you when you watched a little bit of it, when I take off blemishes for people, which sounds like kind of not a big deal. But if you've got a gigantic mole on your cheek that has pained you for all of your life, that it's just bothered you so much, can't cover it with makeup, people took fun of you at school because you had this lump on your face that of course children don't really understand, and it genuinely bothered you, a surgery solution would be to remove that completely, which is going to leave a pretty big scar. What I can do is reduce that down so it's completely flat, safe, no chemicals, to reduce it. And that changes everything if that's something that's bothered you since you were a teenager, So I think we can really solve relatively major problems for people. And then things like, most girls, we like makeup and stuff, but I've never been more confident in my skin. If I'll go to the shop, I never would have got, because I had bad skin when I was a teenager. I'd actually in my 20s. I would never have gone to a shop without double wear foundation on, like thick mask. And so seeing clients coming in and out without the thick mask on because their skin has transformed is just amazing. It's just, honestly, and it's so funny. Yesterday, one of our clients was leaving and it was myself and Katie were standing at the desk and we were just saying goodbye. And she went, girls, neither of you are listening to what I'm saying. You're both just staring at my skin. And we were like, yeah, we can't help it because your skin is so nice. Like, because it's like glass, right? Like, I know there's like this fake Instagram glass thing where they just put loads of oil on and it's not really like glass. Like, this is not what I'm talking about. We're talking about an actual glow, like real radiance. And she was like, you're not concentrating on me because you're just looking at my skin. And that is what I want to achieve for my clients. Like, people not concentrating on you because they're looking at your stunning skin.
How do you achieve that radiant glass look glow? Like, how do you do it?
Me personally, so I hate things like dermaplaning. Like, it makes me aggressively angry.
Why?
Because it's just hideous. It's like you're shaving your face. Can we not? Can we just stop shaving faces, please? And then they're like selling that in super dry, even professionally done. I think it's horrific. I think it should be banned. But even they're selling it in Superdrug. And by the way, I don't know if I said this to you when I saw you last, but you know, they're selling, I think it was my friend actually. My friend sent me a picture of a microneedling roller being sold in Primark for £4.
Oh, wow.
Aggression is not even slightly the word I had for that, because that's what young girls do first. They go to Primark first because they've got a bit of pocket money, and that's where they go and buy their beauty supplies, which they've seen on TikTok or whatever, right? I know this because I've got daughters, so I know how they shop. And so there's no restriction on age. So you're telling me a 12-year-old can walk into Primark and buy a derma roller? Like, are you okay? And microblading. This is so beyond where my scope of thought. How is that even remotely acceptable?
Yeah, how is that allowed?
Because there's no regulations really in our industry. So that is, that I find genuinely upsetting that's even available. So going back to what your question about glowing skin, it's not microblading. You're shaving someone's face. Yes, you're going to cause some exfoliation, but if you've got any hairs with blood supply in there, might be a bit technical to talk about, but if you've got any hairs that have got a blood supply in that vellus hair, so vellus hair is like the fluffy stuff that everyone has normal, but often, especially as women, hormones change during any kind of hormonal changes, this can happen. You might get the odd hair that's got some sort of blood supply. It can really stimulate that sort of hair to become much more of a problematic hair. I just don't think we should be doing that just for exfoliation. Like, I think it's completely unnecessary. I just don't, it's just not for me. And that's not really that's not how you're going to create glass skin at all. You're leaving it quite exposed. So for me, pretty much always laser is going to be a part of it. Something's gentle and sensible, not hydrofacial. You know how I feel about this.
Yeah, but we'll come on to that after, actually.
So not that. That's also not the answer for glowing skin. It is going to be exfoliation that is respectful of your skin. That's never going to take more than it should away from the surface if you don't need it. Don't get me wrong, there's places for CO2, which is going to completely eradicate the epidermis. But in most cases, that's not what glowing skin is actually. The client's not coming in for that. In most cases, they're not coming in for a CO2 kind of result. So laser, my favorite is Clearlift on the Harmony XL Pro. Clearlift laser is just phenomenal. I've worked with it for a long time. I think it's one of the best technologies ever created. We can treat the surface of the skin. We can cause deep exfoliation without scratching it or breaking it. And we can also stimulate internal cells to grow and rebuild. So that is one of my favorite things. But in fact, if I'm going for the glass skin kind of overall, it's one of our bespoke treatments that I created, because yes, that laser is incredible, but then we need hydration. We need to then feed it. Once we've kind of exfoliated it and we've stimulated it, then we need to feed it. So we work with medical grade product we work with Illuminae Skincare. Their Aqua Infusion Mask is my ride or die. Incredible for hydration. We also work with Dermalux LED medical grade, the strongest version in the world. That's incredible for stimulating what's called a mitochondria, which is the energy source in your cell. So it can stimulate your energy in your cell by 180%. So imagine what that looks like on the surface. If you've energized something on the inside, once it starts to grow, you're going to get this incredible brightness on the surface. So for me, it's a combination in most cases, but we have to engage energy. It doesn't matter what we do on the surface. Yeah, you can give it a bit of a scrub. Looks quite nice, it's cute for like an hour, but it's not changed anything. We have to energize the internal cells. That's where you're going to get the real results.
That's interesting. Energizing the internal cells. And you're I was going to ask you, we'll come on to the hydrofacial after this question because you have a very interesting take on hydrofacial. But clear lift for you is where you see the best results for your clients, would you say?
No, that is amazing. That's my maintenance treatment. That's my introductory treatment. That's what everyone should have. Whenever they can fit it into their diary, people should be having that treatment. That's my maintenance. That's fine. I'm not going to go down the Botox and filler route personally for myself. So I need something that's going to do what I want it to do on a regular. And that's my go-to for my regular treatments. If I'm going in for something that I want dramatic change, like the thing that's going to change the game, even with chronic conditions like, melasma, rosacea, barrier impairment, like really, really severe things acne, scarring, those kinds of things. Silfirm X, which is an RF microneedling, honestly is one of the best devices. I've done my job a very long time. I've worked with a lot of devices over the years. This machine is so cutting edge. It's still ahead of its time. So that I love because it's safe. Safety has got to be number one priority at all points to treat all skin colors. You need to be safe when you're working. You don't want any long-term impact that's negative. We only want long-term good impact. So that's my number one priority when I'm looking for equipment is safety. Efficacy is second, right? Does it work? Safe? Yes. Does it work? Yes. That has to be the two main factors. And so that machine, genuinely mean this, seriously, like unreal. But then we last year have started pairing it with the Acer exosome. And in my 27 years, I've never seen results like it. Like I've never seen skin that can change in such a short time so dramatically. Like within 3 sessions, like life-changing results can happen.
And just to clarify, this is completely a natural look. There's no artificial, there's no filler.
No injection. No injection. So no injectables have happened. We have administered the exosome inside the skin by creating the holes first with the microneedling. But yeah, no injectables, just working with the exosome. The exosomes we work with also are plant-based. That's also important to me. But irrelevant to what's important to me, these are the best in the business. So exosomes often come from human, that's banned in Europe. So there is no one offering human exosomes in Europe. But of course, human to human is going to match the best. We don't offer that. It's not allowed. The second closest to human happens to come from rose stem cells, from rose. So happens to be plant-based, but it doesn't matter where the source is. It's the one the closest match to a human exosome. And what exosomes are is they send messengers, they're messengers that send little messages throughout your cells to be better, fix the broken parts, be more efficient, and repair, basically, is what exosomes do. And so the combination of Silfirm, the RF microneedling, which is the safest on the market, because some of them are not great, RF microneedling and exosomes, that result is mind-blowing. And you can treat things that are very difficult to treat. So not only skin conditions, which of course we know are difficult, but things like under eye. Under eyes are tricky. They're a hard region to get to because they're delicate, they're thin. We don't want to lose fat. Fat is super important under the eyes. So we don't want to lose any fat from under there. So you've got to be very careful. If you are having something like a Morpheus 8, have you heard of Morpheus?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
If you're having something like a Morpheus 8, just be really careful the depth and the heat in which your practitioner is using, or if you yourself are a practitioner that you're using. You cannot afford to lose fat in someone's really much face at all, but especially around the eyes. So, but I don't know whether you knew this, there are no pores directly underneath your eyes.
Oh, really?
Did I say this already?
No, but yeah, it makes sense.
Things I normally teach people.
Because you never sweat from under your eyes, do you?
There's no pores. So down here there's pores here, but nothing right under there. There's no direct pore. So that's why you don't put eye cream there. You know, put eye cream under there. Did you know that?
I've been doing it wrong.
Everyone does, don't worry.
Where'd you put the eye cream then?
Just where your bone is.
Well, like here?
Yeah, like just underneath the bone. Never under here. You actually make your eyes puffier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that's when things like eye products can cause things like milia and things like that. So no. So eye cream actually doesn't go under there. But if you create a channel for our Silfirm, with the microneedling, and then you put the exosome in, you can get really amazing results in an area that doesn't normally absorb.
Interesting.
And eyelid, same. There's no pores on the eyelid. Where the brow hairs are, there is, but not here. Same thing. You can really get tightening and lifting in an area that is really, really tricky with anything else.
I'd love to get your, well, I know your opinion on hydrofacial, but for the podcast, for the viewers, hydrofacial, what's your opinion on hydrofacial, and why do you feel so strongly about your opinion with hydrofacial?
Oh God, there's so many reasons. And I don't like bashing other people because that's not cool. Like everyone's education, everyone's experiences, everyone's profession got them to where they are. So to me, there are right and wrong answers, but of course they think I'm possibly wrong in some of the things I say. So I'm not being mean when I say these things. If that's what professionally you think is great, I just think professionally it's not great. It's really scratchy. It really breaks down the surface. If you're 20 with perfect skin that's really thick with no breakouts, no acne, your skin will probably feel clean, right? But it's causing a lot of suction, which I hate. Pulling at collagen is never a good idea. Your crystals are really scratchy. So you're actually exposing the barrier. What I see, like I said before about acne, I see into the future. I can see skin in the future of how it's going to look. And that is what I'm interested in. What hydrofacial does is it's actually breaking down elements of skin that then in the future are going to have a problem because you're exposing that area and it's temporary. We're not working on anything living. We're working on only dead. Yeah, when they go like that and they're like, oh, look how clean her skin is. Put the jar, it's dirty. When I cleanse your face, the water is exactly the same colour. It's not, nothing's different here. You've just taken off your sunscreen that you're wearing when you came in. So there's nothing deep happening. It's very temporary. It's expensive for what it is, and it's actually could potentially cause long-term harm. And what annoys me about it from a business perspective is that every single clinic pretty much in the UK is offering it because the marketing is so phenomenal on it. Like everyone's marketing it, like the brand itself have positioned themselves as a leader, which cool. You know what? Their marketing department deserves all the raises in the world because they did a great job. But what that means is that a lot of clinics have bought it in because they know they're going to get inquiries from it. I just don't think that's very ethical.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, I even think from a financial perspective, it's like a 30k machine to sell a £100 treatment. I just think there's better ways to invest in machinery anyway, you know?
And also, it's a race to the bottom with the pricing.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, I don't know whether you knew this about the treatment. I don't, like I said, I had a demonstration on the treatment about 10 years ago or whatever it was and I just said, this technology is 30 years out of date. You just happen to have combined 30-year out-of-date technologies together, but none of it's any good. And then of course it became the most sold treatment in the UK. So, but I still stand by my ethos of I don't actually think it's a very good treatment. But also, I don't know whether you know this, that it's also about 40 quid to do a treatment.
Oh.
So the cost of product is also super high. So the margin is low. The like I said, the machine cost is
high.
It's not in comparison to most of our machines, but it's an entry level.
Yeah.
You're getting machinery from China, you can get something cheaper. But if you're getting good equipment that's CE marked, FDA approved, then you're going to be paying a lot more. But even still, the cost per treatment is really, really high, and everyone's racing to the bottom. You're getting people now doing hydrofacials for like 80 quid because everyone offers it. You've got nothing unique, so everyone's like, well, why would I pay more? I can get 80 quid down the road. It's the same thing.
Yeah, there is that happening. There's also other brands of hydrofacial, like hydrofacial, or just the same kind of device. I mean, you can go on Amazon now, type in hydrofacial, you can get a device for about 300 quid. And a lot of clinics are actually just marketing that as a hydrofacial. Of
course they are. It's the same as LED. We get this a lot as well because we've got the Dermalux Triwave MD, the medical grade version. And everyone just thinks, oh, well, LED's LED. It really, really, really isn't. Like there's such a significant difference in between them. And so, as you said, if you go online, you can buy a LED mask for a
couple of hundred quid. Yeah.
So, I've already got LED. I don't need that. But it's not medical grade, you know. So the grading and the quality, the joules of energy it can emit, and everything completely unique, completely different, depending on the device. But yeah, you're right. And so so what's happened is now a lot of other brands have got on board with, oh my God, hydrofacial are doing so well. Let's bring out the same thing, but just in a different box. Let's bring out the same thing in a different box. And then they've actually continued the problem because they want to get in on the action.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm seeing something shift a lot in the industry. I've been working in the aesthetics industry for not like forever, but for about 6 years. Coming up to 7 this year, and I've seen the market change a lot. I've seen the trends come. I've seen the trends go. I remember a couple of years ago, it was lemon bottle. A couple of years before that, it was Morpheus 8. Then it was Russian lips prior to that. Like, there used to be this trend. Before Molly May got her fillers dissolved, a lot of clinics were making tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of pounds a month on, Russian lips, jawline filler, cheek filler. But I've seen the industry mature. It's maturing. I feel it's maturing in a sense of people are craving that natural look now. People want to look natural. They don't want to look fillered up to the eyeballs. Have you seen that change?
Definitely. Definitely. I think, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I personally won't choose to have it. I have my reasons, which we talk about another time. I personally won't have it, but each to their own. That's absolutely fine. But I think you're absolutely right when it comes to the look. I think the look is definitely going more subtle and more natural. The other thing that annoys me about sort of the injectable kind of idea is that it was very much, as you said, marketed to be like you look like a filter in real life. And that just actually isn't very nice. Like, people don't really like that look of what that kind of odd sort of, it's not a natural face. And I think the natural face is coming back. I think people want the face to move. So I think and I'm really pleased about that. That makes me really happy. But the thing that was never really marketed very well, and I'm probably exactly the same myself, is that Botox and filler are not the answer. And I include this with Profilo and polynucleotides, right? They are not the answer to great skin. Let's stop pretending that they are. They are not. They're also not preventative. So there's this really annoying theory that if you have Botox from a young age, which is being marketed at young people, by the way, I would personally ban injectables for anybody under the age of 25. If I was queen, I would ban, because I just think the long term is not discussed enough. It's not discussed enough, and there is significant long term implications for your skin and the structure of your face and how it works. So I think that should be discussed a lot more than it is. But the Botox does not prevent wrinkles. Stop saying that it does, because it doesn't. There was a very interesting video that I saw the other day, which was a lady that was like smiling or squinting or whatever, moving her face, and she was like, "Oh my God, get me back in my chair. I've not had Botox for," she'd been pregnant, right? So she hadn't had Botox for a year and a half. And she was super wrinkly, right? Like, she had a before and after. And she'd been having Botox for 10 years. There was no prevention there. She was 33. She had far more wrinkles than me. She was like literally completely wrinkled. And so it was sold to young people, and it still is being sold to young people as a preventative, and it isn't. And I think that's wrong as well.
Is there like a side of it though, where if you get it not too often, it would reduce wrinkles because you're naturally not creasing up your face as much? Do you know what I mean?
As soon as the action comes back, you start creasing up the face again.
But then you lose, like, what's the reason why it ages you? Because a lot of
it doesn't age you, but as in, if you stop doing it, your aging is still there.
Yeah.
Because as soon as the action comes back, of course, what Botox does is it stops the action from happening.
Yeah.
So if you allow the action to come back, the action comes back, right? So what I'm saying is, it was sold as a preventative in the sense of, if you have it done, you're never going to get wrinkles.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true, because if you don't have it anymore, you are going to get wrinkles.
Yeah.
You're going to move your face again and you're going to get wrinkles. And also, when did we start demonizing wrinkles? Like, it's okay to have a bit of personality in your face. For me, great skin is the answer. Great skin, beautiful, luminous, healthy, like supple, glowing skin. That's the answer to you, to youthful look, rather than like eradicating personality and making everyone look the same. I'm just not cool with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like the industry's changing for the better in that sense.
I hope so. It feels like it. I think people
so.
are seeking long term in the sense of, so going back to what we do is long term, because we're actually energizing, especially when it comes to older skin, we're energizing cells that have gone to sleep. Once the menopause happens, collagen production pretty much ceases its own rejuvenation completely. So when you energize it, i.e. cause controlled wounds, you force the collagen to reproduce and regrow. And so we can actually make that happen, which is just amazing. So that is going to give you a more long-term benefit. And if you then stop doing it, it's not all going to come crashing down, because that healthy skin is going to last a lot longer than an overnight sort of thing. Collagen growth is about a 3-month process. So you're going to get growing for 3 months, and then it will just slow the aging down after that.
How important would you say genetics are to looking young? Because, you know, like some people actually like smoke, drink, party, but I mean, some of them just still look fresh. I mean, a lot of them don't, who live that lifestyle. A lot look haggard, but I feel like genetics definitely play a part. Would you agree? Or like, what's your take on that?
There is actually, I've read the science on this. You'll not be surprised to know, because I've done studies on identical twins. And so actually they think it's between about 5 and 8% is the only part of it that's genetic.
Really?
Because I've done it on identical twins. External and internal factors are going to give you a lot. And, you know, I use this example because it's severe and extreme, okay? And it's probably not going to be great to keep in the pod, but it is an extreme scenario. If you've got 2 identical cells, you know, 2 identical twins, one of them loves to party with crystal meth. Okay, and do you even party with crystal meth? Probably not.
Maybe in America.
Maybe in America or whatever, like something that gives you sores and, you know, there's that really attractive, famous people that got into severe hardcore drugs.
Yeah.
Their genetics ain't helping. Okay? No matter what, they were born beautiful. Yeah, that's genetics, but they don't look like that now because their lifestyle. So that's a severe example, but they've done research on identical twins that have sort of, one's lived in the sun, stressful life, smoked their whole life, drunk every day, you know, poor diet, lives in a bad environment. The other one grew up, you know, spent most of her life on a farm, eating well, using sunscreen, blah, blah, blah. Like the different, they actually compared the 2 and their genetics are the same. So they know the genetics don't have a ginormous factor.
That's an interesting.
Lifestyle is a huge factor.
Yeah, definitely. Wow. Yeah, because I think some people assume that genetics play a big factor. I know they can do with body shape, body weight.
They do. Don't get me wrong. Like if you and your identical twin live a similar lifestyle, good lifestyle, really, really good. You know, drink lots of water, don't have too much stress, don't go in the sun. You know, don't be wrong. Yes, you're gonna, and you've got great genetics. Of course, you're gonna age beautifully. If you had, you know, poor genetics, then you know. But what I'm saying is that they know the percentage because lifestyle has such an impact.
Yeah.
But yes, if you've got great genes and you have a great lifestyle, your chances are really strong.
I saw something on Good Morning Britain years ago. 2 twins, 70 years old, females. One smoked 40 a day for her whole life since she was like 12. Because, you know, back in the day, people used to smoke young.
Yeah.
And the other never smoked a cigarette in her life. They looked so noticeably different. Like one still, I mean, 70s, so you're going to look kind of old, but fresh, healthy. The other one, haggard, like a shriveled raisin. It was insane. The difference between the 2, just from smoking.
Exactly. So imagine add that to somebody that's had a life of stress, 2 divorces.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. Really stressful life, really stressful job. Worked 18 hours a day. You know, in a factory. Like it does have a. Yeah, and then the other one had a beautiful life, married a billionaire. They're going to look different, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm sure the one that married a billionaire probably got a couple of treatments done as well.
This is very true. She probably got after microneedling with some exosomes. And HIFU, by the way, that's my other favourite. The combination is a stunner.
Anyone who's married a billionaire in the Richmond area, make sure you get down to Skin Lounge Aesthetics.
We'll sort you out.
For sure. How can people find you on social media, Rachel?
So on Instagram, we are Skin Lounge Aesthetics _Richmond. And we're now working together. So you've created some fabulous new content. There's going to be some really cool stuff coming on there. So that's how they can find us.
Yeah, make sure you keep an eye on Rachel. What she's doing in the space is incredible. And give her a follow. Big things to come.